has been oh, the game started. But I was just saying, like, Kalento's been like just trying out like practice decks, and we're gonna see a Miracle Rogue from Reynad. That's surprising. I wonder what kind of miracle it's gonna be.
Well, I see a Shadow Step, so that kind of makes me think that there's possibly Leroy or Arcane Golem,
Mm. Yeah, there's
and
just so many variations.
pretty standard ramp deck from Savjz.
Yeah, unfortunately, Savjz has like all his 7 drops in his hand right now, and he didn't get a wild growth off. If you get a wild growth off in this matchup, it's like insane. Um, but I still feel like it's kind of an even matchup now that the wild growth wasn't gotten off. Just like pretty simple plays. Blood Mage Thanos, dagger up. He's gonna use all his mana, and this is gonna be Savjz's first opportunity to use a 7 drop. I believe, or he could swipe right here. So I believe like Ancient of Lore or Swipe are the plays. You don't really want to Ancient of War because that just gets sapped.
Right. You could also coin out the Druid of the Claw because then your next turn you can innervate out one of the 7 drops. Or I guess making a 7 drop this turn is still fine because then you can just then you're kind of locked into Druid of the Claw next turn.
I feel like that Blood Mage Thanos is like kind of looking pretty intimidating. The spell power, if you don't clear right now, the spell power plus Eviscerate would really clear either the Druid of the Claw or the Ancient of Lore. Okay, but he's gonna go for more cards. That's fair.
Okay, yeah. I think you should definitely play this over the 5/10 because you want to kind of use the 5/10 to lock out the game later. If you play it this early, it might just get sapped or, like you said, taken down with the help of the Thalnos.
Yeah, so Savjz goes for a play that's kind of midway. He gets the Ancient of Lore out, which is a pretty strong body, and also not too weak to sap, and he also clears the Blood Mage Thanos, so he's not as weak to Eviscerate. And now he has a 3/2 competing with a 3/3. In addition, the 3/2 can't get backstabbed. So the play here is looking, you kind of really want to get rid of this Shade because it's just going to grow and grow. So I think your only option here is actually just to trade the Farseerian, which feels really bad. You're trading like a 3-drop, which didn't really do anything because it just like healed you for like 1 damage probably, against like a 3/2. Never feels very good.
Yeah, I just noticed that Savjz just picked up a Force of Nature, so it does look like he's playing the combo. I'm assuming it's only one combo. You usually don't see Ancient of War and double combo.
I believe the deck that Savjz is running is based off of Dog's Druid. Are you familiar with that deck that Dog got to #1 legend? It has 2 Ancient of Wars and 1 set of combos. But he played this deck at ESL actually, and
with the Azure Drakes, I believe.
Yeah, with the Azure Drakes. The one change he made was like he subbed out like Harrison Jones for Lotheb. And I'm curious to see if he's going to do that. Oh, so he kills the Ancient of Lore. He thought that was more threatening, but unfortunately now the Shade grows and it directly contests the Azure Drake.
Yep. You might even see some Shadow Step Lotheb shenanigans later, but that doesn't really do much against Druid, and except for delaying the combo. You might see it delay the combo a couple turns much later in the game. See 5 mana for Savjz. He really doesn't have too many options here.
Yeah. I mean, there is the Druid of the Claw, obviously.
Yep.
But that's not a very exciting play, but it's a solid play.
So he's thinking a while. Is he actually thinking about just removing the Drake instead of playing the Druid of the Claw? I feel like he just would play Druid of the Claw here, but he's taking his time.
Yeah, it's a HearthStone tournament. You have like 2 minutes to play, and if you're a life coach, you're going to take all of those 2 minutes on every single turn. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I was quick side note. I was streaming some Shaman the other week, and I'm kind of a Shaman noob, and I was going to the rope every single turn just because there's so many options, and I'm what Twitch chat likes to call a huntard most of the time. Okay, so he does actually just swipe the Drake. I guess he just wants to keep his Shade alive here.
I think he saw that Reynad didn't have a lot of opportunities to to clear the shade the last turn, so he probably isn't going to have a lot of ways to clear it this turn. Actually, this play is very good because now Reynad can't play the Auctioneer plus the backstab. And
it actually worked out real nice.
Reynad has really weak plays this turn. The Lotheb is the only option. And again, that's going to be directly contested by the ever-growing shade.
Yeah, that was a pretty good read by Savjz there. Oh.
Okay, the Lotheb does go down. Reynad is definitely not happy about that turn.
I think something's happening with your mic.
Is it okay? Can you hear me at all?
Sounds like we're on a highway.
Okay. Is that better?
No. That's better. Well,
is that better?
It's a little better, but I hear a lot of... Okay, I hear a lot of white noise.
Okay, what about that?
That is perfect.
All right, that's good. So
I missed that turn. What just happened?
He charged the Druid of the Claw into the Rogue's face.
Charged Druid of the Claw. Okay, so I guess he's just gonna set up for to burst him down here with the Force of Nature.
Okay, the Twitch chat is saying my mic was fine the entire time. So it might be on your end, or it might just be with Skype.
Yeah, maybe it was I was just hearing you through Skype or something then.
I think Savjz is looking at his hand and he's like, okay, I already have the Force of Nature, and again, like, Reynad couldn't deal with my shade the last turn. How he's gonna deal with it this turn? Same thing over and over again. Reynad, here's another problem with the 6-mana Auctioneer. Reynad, without any preparations, he can't get off the Auctioneer at all.
Yeah, it's just kind of gonna rot in his hand all game. Oh, he has double Shadow Step too.
So this is like full YOLO miracle.
I think I heard him make a comment the other day when he was streaming that he was just gonna try just straight up regular Miracle Rogue, like pre-nerf Leroy, just the exact list card for card. So maybe this is actually what it is, just old school Miracle, but with a worse Auctioneer and a worse Leroy.
Okay, so more face damage for Reynad. Oh, we see the Conceal for the Auctioneer. That's like a card that we never see these days.
Yeah, it's a little late for that. I think it might be. Well, I mean, Reynad has a sap. He can probably stay alive for a bit here.
Yeah,
but Savjz just needs to draw a Savage Roar and it's pretty much game over.
Yeah,
I think
he's already cycled through 2 Ancient of Lores. He's used 2 Ancient Lores, so he's drawn 4 cards additionally from his deck. So he's probably gonna have that Savage Roar ASAP. This Miracle Rogue probably only has 1 more Earthen Ring Farseer. And I think that's lethal, yeah.
It's just lethal,
Force of Nature plus Ancient of Lore. Reynad didn't clear everything, and unfortunately Savjz doesn't get the kill. Reynad actually concedes.
Small victories. Yeah, I was thinking maybe we would have that.
Let me ask the admins.
Oh man, this hand from Savjz is pretty insane.
Oh man. And Reynad picked the Mage into the Druid, so I'm guessing this is not a Fatigue Mage, because Savjz does run one of the combo.
Yeah, I would assume it's not Freeze Mage either, because I don't think... I mean, I think Freeze Mage is fine if you're playing against a Druid that doesn't run combo, but I wouldn't want to run it into a Druid with combo. Yeah, okay, it's Mech Mage.
Yeah, so this hand is really insane for Savjz versus Mech Mage. You have the Innervate and you have the Wild Growth. Usually I think Mech Mage has like a slight advantage over Druid, just because if you get the Mech Warper off, Druid has a really hard time fighting for control of the board back from an unfavorable position. They don't really have like a Brawl or an Equality Consecrate, and they really fight really honestly. So now that Savjz has the... oh man, this is like such a strong turn. Are you serious?
This is absurd, yeah.
Zombie Child plus Coin, Innervate, Shade of Naxxramas. Turn 2, he has the Wild Growth follow-up.
Yeah, this is pretty nuts. And I mean, Reynad didn't even have a 1-drop to play. He's just gotta go with the chugga here.
Yeah, he could have played the Frostbolt, but then he'd be trying to fight back for board the entire game. And Savjz's hand is going to play itself out from now on. He's got the Wild Growth, turn 4, he's just going to swipe probably like a spider tank, and then turn 5 he's going to play Druid of the Claw. It looks like a very uphill battle for Reynad right now.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what Reynad's. I guess I mean, there's only so much you can really do with Mech Mage, anyways, right? You just kind of try to build up a board and hope for the best.
Okay, Tinkertown Technician gonna get swiped ASAP.
Time Rewinder. Actually, I don't know if Reynad does, but I've seen some Mech Mages start adding Black Knight into their deck because all the Druids and Ancient of Wars have been going around, and it's actually kind of sick if you get Time Rewinder because you can Black Knight something and then Time Rewinder and Black Knight something else again the following turn.
Now we see a Water Elemental from Reynad. That's very interesting because Mech Mages typically only use the Piloted Shredders or Mechanical Yetis as their 4-drops. But Reynad is a player that always likes to add his own twist into things, and I believe Water Elemental is just overall a slightly better minion than either the Mechanical Yeti or the Piloted Shredder, but it doesn't have as much synergy with other mechs. So I guess that's Reynad's call to be like, oh, I just want more solid stuff rather than more mech synergy.
Yep.
This is I believe this is Savjz's first turn where he can't play perfectly on curve.
Reynad actually didn't do too bad of a job at kind of surviving that early game a little bit. I mean, it's still not looking great for him, but he's not completely out of it yet.
Yeah, definitely not.
Because Savjz is only sitting on 2 cards, one of them being a Zombie Chow.
Yeah, interesting move by Savjz. He takes the Spider Tech down to 3/3 so that the Senjin can directly contest it. I think most players would probably have traded the Druid of the Claw into the Spider Tank, but that just gets pinged down. We see the Goblin Blast Mage from Reynad, and I think that's a card that can really turn this game around. I don't know how useful it'll be this turn, but usually it's like the strongest card for the mana cost in the Mage's entire deck.
Yeah, I think that card is probably the main reason why you would even want to play Mech Mage to begin with.
Yeah, it's like the Chugga Chugga is nice against like weapon classes, but this card is usually like the one that defines why Mech Mage is good. That and the spare part synergy with Antonidas. I think in GVG, every class got at least one mech synergy, like for its own like mech specific things. Like Mage actually got 3 with the Chugga Chugga, the 5/4 Goblin Blast Mage, and the 3/3 Spell Power that no one uses. And it's really I think the Blast Mage that really puts it over the top.
I actually forgot about the 3/3 Spell Power guy until you just said that.
Yeah, I think that's a very common card to forget.
I also know that some Mech Mages run the, I think it's called Cogmaster, that 3/2 right there, the 1-mana guy.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people actually sub that guy out for Mana Worm. Because Mana Worm kind of gets some synergy from the spare parts.
Yeah.
Also, and
yeah, I think
I'm not really sure which one's better.
If you're gonna use Mana Worm, I think you probably want to use the Unstable Portal as well. Like I've seen Tice was a player that first used the Unstable Portal in his mech decks, but he didn't use it at the last ESL tournament. Whereas Amaz has been using Unstable Portal a lot, and so it's a very Amaz card. Like it's a card where like if you get good RNG, like you just win the game.
Yeah, whenever your opponent plays it, you're just like, oh, all right, let's see, let's flip a coin here. Am I dead, or are we still playing, or did you just get nothing?
Yeah, Savjz had a fairly weak turn last turn, but he's like kind of getting back into it. Like, how are you going to deal with a 5/9 and a 5/5? You have the fireballs, but yeah.
Yeah, then those fireballs aren't going to be going to the face later on, and once the Druid stabilizes again, it's just going to be... I mean, I guess aside from maybe an Antonidas, I can't really see how the Mage or Reynad is actually going to even close out the game.
Alright, Time Rewinder. It's kind of getting like some card advantage back. It's going to play out the Harvest Golem. Again, not the strongest play. We're seeing the power of Savjz's Druid deck right now. He's just getting all these cycles. He got 1 Ancient of Lore, 1... Azure Drake. He got really ahead with Innervate plays. He lost card advantage, but he gained a lot of tempo in the beginning, which is where it's most important to get tempo. And because he's playing these cycle cards later on, he's regaining that card advantage back. So everything's like he's drawing his cards in the exact right order that you want to, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Savjz's draw's been pretty much pretty much perfect this whole game. Like I mean, there's a few turns where it wasn't,
Hmm.
the best, but just his start and what he's drawn into since then has just been great.
I believe like only one turn. Savjz only had like one turn, which is turn 6, which wasn't like the most optimal play possible. So I mean, he had like a turn 6 Ancient of War. Turn 5 was pretty good if I recall correctly. Turn 5 was a Druid of the Claw. Turn 4 was a swipe, and or sorry, turn 4 was a Druid of the Claw. Turn 3 was a swipe. Turn 2 was a Walled Growth, and turn 1 was the Zombie Chow into Innervate Coin, Shade of Naxxramas. So just only one turn where it was not like the best thing possible. And Savjz has lethal. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there wasn't much to say that
Yeah.
game. I mean, Savjz just basically nut drew against Reynad. I mean, you guys see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Reynad had, I would say, a below average hand, probably in like the 30th to 40th percentile, while Savjz and I would guess Handlock, and those two classes, and maybe Druid, and maybe those decks, like he's running Mech Druid as we can see right now, and
Oh wow, yeah.
Mech Druid probably isn't the best version of Druid to be facing off against Hunter. So maybe he had like 3 decks that he considered weak against Hunter, which were his Handlock, his Rogue, and his Mech Druid.
Savjz actually doesn't have. Well, it looks like he has an Innervate, but no Wild Growth this game.
Yeah.
His hand's kind of clunky, but I guess the Innervate should help with that. Although, okay, Reynad has the Wild Growth.
Yeah, Reynad has the Wild Growth, so honestly, that probably means he's going to win. I feel like if one player has the Wild Growth, oh, well, I spoke too soon. Well, as I was saying, like,
better late than never.
Yeah, if one person has the Wild Growth and the other doesn't, I would say it's like a 70% chance to win for the person that does have the Wild Growth. It's just, the Wild Growth is just so important in this matchup.
Yeah, this might not be a mech Drew. I mean, he's playing mechs, but I think he might just be playing piloted shredders, maybe and maybe like double combo and just have a bunch of these sticky minions.
That's fair. Yeah, piloted shredder has kind of like replaced Chillwind Yeti as like the 4-drop of choice in a lot of druids. Usually, it's either piloted shredder if you're a more defensive druid, you go the Senjin these days, and we really don't see Chillwind Yetis at all in post GVG.
Yeah, well, I feel like if you're going to run a fast version of Druid with double combo, then you want a Shredder because it's just one more body that's going to stick around for the Savage Roar.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, and then if you're running the taunt version, you want more taunts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thankfully for Savjz, his opponent doesn't have a Black Knight, so now this Ancient of War is going to do a lot of work. What do you think is favored these days? The kind of slower druid with 1 combo, or the druid that Reynad is running with, like, it looks a bit more aggressive because it has the Dr. Boom.
I think that the ramp druid like Savjz is playing is probably slightly favored against the combo or the fast druid, but like you said, it's kind of, if one person gets Wild Growth and the other one doesn't, it can pretty much just snowball from there. And then Black Knight can be a pretty swingy factor too if one player draws it. Gets good use and the other one doesn't. Okay, so Reynad, he can coin out Lore here if he wants to, or Dr. Boom. Let's see, what else can he do?
Yeah, just the strongest play possible on this turn. Turn 6 or turn 5 rather. Coin Dr. Boom, pretty good.
And Savjz doesn't have a big game hunter either, so this is gonna get pretty nasty for him.
Yeah, Reynad has actually also gone on record on saying that like he thinks people who are playing Spectral Knights and Druid are wrong. Like Spectral Knight Druid is like the weakest form of Druid. So I don't think it's going to be super aggressive. Oh, this is decent top deck, but there's just so much pressure coming from Savjz right now. Also, the Savage Roar is going to be very good. It's funny that the Zombie Chow that Savjz played on turn 1 still hasn't died, and it's right now turn 6.
Yeah, Savjz just kind of shook his head there a little bit. I guess he was kind of hoping maybe Reynad didn't have Savage Roar because he just left the boom bots sitting around there. And it looks like Reynad's going to gain some health back with the by finally killing that Zombie Chow.
Yeah, this game is kind of turning around right here. Reynad's going to be able to clear the board. Ooh.
Although I'm not sure if killing off the boom bots and the pilot shredders was a winning play, even if Savjz tried to do that, because I think if you do that, you're kind of setting yourself up to be in a losing spot anyways. I think he's just kind of rather hoping Reynad didn't have the Savage Roar.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there was like not a really great way to clear the boom bots either. He would have to like probably hero power one of them, attack the other with the zombie chow, and then like things might go off. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
This is kind of annoying. He has a Keeper of the Grove, but I guess he has to deal 2 damage to Dr. Boom. He can't really silence the Pilot Shredder, and then the Pilot Shredder gets a free trade into the Keeper of the Grove.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have and he can't really play one of the 5 drops because then he's basically doing nothing.
Oh, Millhouse Mana Storm. That's absolutely the best drop that Reynad could have gotten. Reynad hasn't had great luck in the past few games, in the last 2 games, but
it's being returned to him right now.
Definitely. He got the Wild Growth. He got a faster Wild Growth on turn 2 while his opponent didn't. And then he got this Millhouse Mana Storm.
What's the thing? Do you play with Pilot Shredders a lot? What's the card do you get the most? I feel like I always get Knife Juggler. I've gotten Knife Juggler easily 15 plus times.
I don't think I've ever gotten Knife Juggler. What do I get the most? I get Echoing Oozes a lot, which is not that great.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so Ancient Allure. I guess Reynad's just pretty much looking to finish him. I don't see Savjz coming back from this. Unless maybe, well, a Savage Roar would be one way to do this.
He has to survive the next turn, and then draw into Force of Nature, and hope his opponent doesn't have a Taunt or a Loatheb. Which, well, Reynad has a Loatheb, so that plan is not going to work. But this is the winning play, going for face and hoping Reynad doesn't have the right answers, and hoping that Savjz himself is going to draw into the right finishing combo.
Well, Violet Teacher. I wonder if that means. I wonder if Reynad has Power of the Wilds, because usually you see those two, paired together.
Yeah, it's strange that he's running Violet Teachers and Piloted Shredders and Keeper of the Groves. I mean, you're gonna run Keeper of the Groves, obviously, but that's just a lot of 4 drops in general.
Yeah.
I guess it's just for more opportunities, more plays for when you get the turn 2 Wild Growth. So you can turn 3 4 drop, or you can innovate into
that
a
makes
4
sense.
drop. We saw Firebat at the last DreamHack running I believe 8 5 drops and 0 3 drops. So somewhat of a similar concept. The thing with 5 drops is also that on turn 10, usually 2 5 drops is the strongest play you can make. So
yeah, I think I actually saw. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Neria. In one of the tournaments, he was playing a Ramp Druid deck, and I saw that he didn't play BGHs, he didn't play Shades. Our Harvest Golem just completely skipped the 3 drop as well. And that I don't know, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, a lot of players have been skipping the 3 drops lately.
I mean, if you're hard mulliganing for Wild Growths and Innervates, then you're going to be skipping it anyways, ideally.
The other option is that instead of typical 3 drops, a lot of Druids these days are running Big Game Hunter and Mind Control tech. So it's kind of like a 3 drop that you can play on turn 3, but also it has more utility later in the game. Savjz went for the last resort play, crashing into the Pilot Shredder, hoping he got a Doomsayer out of it. Unfortunately,
just have the plan not to queue into Druid with it.
Oh wow, it is not.
Yeah,
it is Undertaker Mage. In fact, Undertaker Secret Mage. Definitely, I would say it's a favorable matchup against Druid, and it's wow, look, there's Unstable Portal, and because there's Unstable Portal in this deck, I think there's probably going to be Mana Worm in this deck. So just overall, just a very aggressive Druid, or a very aggressive Mage.
Very aggressive Mage, yeah. Do you think he has any? You think he runs any Echo Medivh shenanigans in here, or do you think it's just probably pure aggressive?
I probably not. Yeah, the cards that are in this deck, like Unstable Portal, for example, I probably don't see Echo of Medivh. I've never seen Echo of Medivh and what's it called? Echo Medivh and Unstable Portal in the same deck. So that would be definitely a first for me.
Yeah, Unstable Portal's always. I mean, whenever you're playing against Unstable Portal, it's kind of like you're like, oh man, what did he get? Like this could just end the game right now. But when you're not directly invested into the game, it's actually kind of fun to just watch. Like
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yes, Reynad goes for the hero power instead of Big Game Hunter, and it's the same net result. Ooh!
Here we go.
Oh, that's actually a bad one.
That's anticlimactic.
Yeah. But now we can see what the Korean text looks like for created by Unstable Portal. So that's a plus.
Savjz's hand is kind of... I don't really know if that's what he wants right now in this kind of matchup. Sort of clunky.
Yeah, it's kind of a very weird paladin, like a mid-range... Whoa! Kel'Thuzad, not a card I was expecting in this deck.
That card is in every deck now. I feel like Kit Kat's just recently played it in Control Warrior. We see it here. We see it in a lot of the Druid decks.
Yeah, we might see it in Savjz's Paladin deck, and I think
Paladin, yep.
Kel'Thuzad and Paladin is actually very good, because Paladin typically has like a lot of minions on the board, and if you like, I guess Kel'Thuzad is like one of the best win conditions in the game. If you can get a good Kel'Thuzad off, there's like just no way for your opponent to come back sometimes.
Yeah, and it's the most important right now is that it's kind of BGH proof, and those seem to be everywhere. I mean, Reynad is he pretty much only has like one good option. I feel like these past few turns, so not much to say here. Just keep her on curve into Druid of the Claw. And wait, I didn't pick up what. Okay,
it was Mirror Entity.
Mirror Entity.
Yeah, Sylvanas would not have been a great play because the Druid could have just switched or traded into it and then hero power.
This turn's a little awkward for Reynad. I guess it's just, well...
I think the play here is maybe like test for Mirror Entity with Big Game Hunter and then play your Shade. Reynad can play out his curve decently, it's just...
I mean, he has to test for Mirror Entity this turn, right? Because you're planning to play Ancient Allure.
Well, he's testing for Counterspell. Oh,
for Counterspell.
Wait, it was Counterspell? Did I get that?
Oh, you lied. You lied to me.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I lied. But well, that's like the best That's the best card to get counterspelled, at least.
I'm surprised people still play Counterspell, or that Savjz decided to play, because I feel like with a lot of the spare parts and stuff like that going on, it's just kind of it's lost some of its value in that. But I guess against a deck like Druid, although Reynad actually, he runs some of the spare part cards in his Druid deck, right? No, just a piloted.
Yeah, just the piloted. Oh. No, okay, what happened was there were two secrets on the board. Oh
god, we're botching this up.
No, there was a mad scientist on the board before, and that created Counterspell.
Okay, yeah, it kind of, I don't know, because the secrets are like kind of covered up, and then he played the one secret really fast. I couldn't tell what it was, so...
Because I could have sworn that one secret was Counterspell. Oh man, we're going to get Kel'Thuzad value here. Come on, Kel'Thuzad. This might be the turning point of the game. Druid has like very few options to deal with Kel'Thuzad. But if the Sylvanas doesn't steal a Dr. Boom, then the Dr. Boom can kind of just crash into Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah, Dr. Boom is really annoying to play against. Like whenever my opponent plays Dr. Boom, I sit there and I think, like, okay, what's the best way to deal with these boom bots and stuff? And then I never know what the best way is, and I usually just kind of I just click some buttons and hope for the best. Hope I get good Boombot RNG.
Okay, this is a...
Oh, wow. That was really smart, but it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, if he ran into the first Boombot and the Boombot killed the Sylvanas, it would actually been good for Savjz because he can just respawn the Sylvanas and possibly steal the Dr. Boom. But this actually works out pretty well as...
Yeah, he's definitely not in a bad spot, especially if the Sylvanas lives, he can get that KT down.
Yeah,
right?
And it's looking like the Sylvanas is going to live. And it also looks like Reynad is going to be shut out of this game pretty soon. Now, Savjz is going to have a very difficult decision to make. Does he kill the 7-4 or does he kill the 5-5? Oh, second unstable portal. This is great.
I mean, you play around BGH if you kill the 7-4, right?
We already saw one BGH coming out from Reynad, though. But I guess like
That's true. He did just play
the
it.
5/5 body and like just on average, even disregarding BGH is generally better than a 7/4 because the 7/4 is much weaker to swipe. Now what does Savjz get? No, the Shade. Again, good RNG for Reynad this turn, but I don't think it's gonna matter with the
Yeah,
Kel'Thuzad reviving everything. Oh, he's
it
not.
looks like he's gonna flame strike. Then I'm assuming if this is what he's doing.
No, I think Dr. Boom is probably gonna be the play.
Or yeah, Dr. Boom.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
I keep it's like kind of blurry on Skype.
yeah, Savjz doesn't want to free Sylvanas, I guess. Or maybe I was gonna say like he's like saving the Kel'Thuzad or something, but I don't know. I guess like in the next turn he can get like even more insane Kel'Thuzad value.
Yeah, I personally I think I would have dropped. I would have just went with KT because I don't know. I like a free Sylvanas.
Yeah. It's funny,
But
this Spin Weedle Sniper, I don't even know the name of this card. Now, it allows Savjz to be able to target his hero power onto minions. That's not something Mage is familiar with usually, so we'll see if Savjz knows how to utilize that correctly.
Yeah, I think it's. Well, in Mage you use your hero power minions a lot, but I feel like the Hunter plays that card and is like, wait, why do I want this again? I don't want to kill your minions.
I wonder if that play by Savjz was a mistake. Like, I felt like KT was like definitely the right play. Oh, I guess with, with this play he can kill the Dr. Boom. That's pretty good. But now we get like infinite boom bots, which is gonna be great.
Yeah, I mean, KT. I guess he was just thinking Dr. Boom is always, Dr. Boom isn't a bad play, and then getting more stuff on the board means that KT is going to be better. But he did sacrifice the Sylvanas basically for that.
I've gotten, because KT is so popular these days, I've gotten like, I always get like a really bad feeling when your opponent like starts making unfavorable trades on a later turn.
Yeah, because you're like, wait, why the heck did they do that?
Like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, I'm clearing the whole board. But then KT comes out.
I have a feeling Reynad is not going to be able to come back from this.
Yeah, especially the boom bots on the board. Like KT plus boom bots is like just amazing. Like you get these 1/1 minions that like can never die, and they always do like 1 to 4 damage each turn. When like, yeah, 1 to 4 damage each turn basically. Savjz is actually hoping he doesn't kill this Ancient of Lore. There we go. That's pretty good. Just plays out his curve, plays out what he can. And this mage deck has been doing pretty well actually. Even though the unstable portals have whiffed, just this KT is the game-winning card.
Yeah, both unstable portals were not the greatest there.
And now Reynad is looking at his hand. He's like, what have I done wrong with my life?
Yep, there you go. Yeah, no, Savjz just kind of got off to a good start with the Druid and then got to basically counterpick